Alright, what's going on, guys? Jared on an island here, back again with another video, and I wanted to share this viral tweet that I saw that I genuinely thought was going to give me some sort of helpful advice. It says, what are some employed person hobbies I can start doing? It has 9 million views, which means it literally got 3 times the amount you need to get monetized. Now, this guy or girl doesn't have premium, so she didn't even get paid for this, okay? 183,000 likes. 183,000. That's an insane number, like, for viral tweeting, okay? So, I already recorded this once and literally the audio didn't work, so let's go again. And I'm gonna go through this. We're gonna see how much coping there is in society right now. So, two mutuals. I followed this guy the first time around because he said work, sleep, repeat. And he claims to be a cult master. Cult Master Kevin. With a cool little skull emoji thing. That's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. But work, sleep, repeat. Insane coping, and that's what this is gonna be. Just like 51 likes. People went through this. They scrolled all the way to the bottom of the premium people, and they were like, "That's relatable, bro." Like my one other mutual, sleeping. Okay, I get it. That's just. It's like the healthy way to cope in an unhealthy way. Okay. Run Club is the first one that comes up because they replied too horny to it with 40,000 likes. Run Club, the thing where young people go and they all run together everywhere and then they all sleep with each other or something because apparently it's too horny. Um, that is a sign of a larger problem, like sexual deviancy, I guess, or just being like hypersexuality. It usually comes from a place of coping with stress, honestly. So it's interesting how that works, how that became the most liked one, uh, at least in terms of the reply for that reason. Like, why does Run Club become that? I don't know. I guess we kind of do know why, but you know. Okay, next one. Heavy drinking seems to be the biggest amongst my coworkers. 40,000 likes. This may be the most liked one here. Now, you can say, oh, but they're joking. It's not really their hobby. Okay, well, we'll see if there's any serious ones here because it would make sense. Like, they're asking a genuine question. 18,000 people saved this. Probably the same reason I did, to see if there was any good information on here. But let's see. Heavy drinking amongst their coworkers. Literally, all of them are going out. They're drinking. They're spending their money on alcohol. We know now that alcohol is pretty expensive out there. So you're working all day and then you go and blow all that money on heavy drinking. It's not just light drinking, it's heavy drinking. Crying yourself to sleep. 15,000 likes. You know, comedy is the best medicine for truth, and 15,000 likes tells me a lot of people are doing this, or at least, you know, feeling, getting pretty close to that. And that just goes to show how people are feeling about how much energy they're spending on their slave job. Looking at the grocery weekly ads. Now, this one, you know, isn't too bad. 15,000 likes. You're literally working all day and then you're deciding what food you can afford to eat afterwards, or what food you get the choice of eating, right? The illusion of choice. And we know how unhealthy the food is in most people's grocery stores. So you're literally looking at the poison that you get to decide to eat. Okay, that may right there may be too pessimistic. I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt here, or like I'm gonna look at it in an optimistic way. That one is probably not that bad because, you know, at least he's getting a choice and at least he's picking his food, which can be good for him. We'll let that one pass. Falling asleep at a video game menu because you're too exhausted to play. Now, that is just complete sadness. You literally are working all day, and then your one little thing of coping free time, your video game, you don't even get to enjoy because you're so drained of your life energy. You don't even get to play it for 1 second. You didn't even make it past the main menu, and you're already falling asleep because your body needs to re-heal that much from slaving away. That's sad. Struggling to keep the house clean. You work all day for someone else, and you don't even get to keep your little kingdom, your small little house, if you even own a house, clean. Your priority, your kingdom, your land is in disarray because you spent too much time at someone else's, working for them, right? Uh, listen, that is coming from a place where, oh, you just don't have the time to do it. But for most of these people, it's just because they are so estrogen and serotonin driven that they don't even have the drive to do it. And we're going to see more of that here in a second. Complaining about not having free time for hobbies when you actually could make time if you wanted to. This is what I'm talking about here. It isn't that the person is bad, which maybe this guy, a PhD, is trying to insinuate. Oh, you're bad for not making time because you could if you wanted to. It's not really that they're bad. It's that they have learned helplessness. You've been taught not to put in the energy outside of work so that you have more energy for work, for slaving away. Because one thing that which is like the system, this non-singular person, this idea, this energy, is that they feed off the fact that they need to take away from your general freedom and your agency so that they can get that energy for themselves. Intercourse with coworkers. Okay, whatever. 10,000 likes. I guess that's kind of funny. Like people usually fall into their environment when it comes to mating, I guess. Okay, go to sleep so you can be ready for work the next day with 2 laughing emojis. Talk about cope. He's literally trying to laugh off the pain because he knows this is so true. He's so tired, he has to just go to sleep. He doesn't have time for hobbies. Doom scrolling, this is the most basic cope, in my opinion, for anyone our generation. It's just the number one thing you do because you get to turn off your brain, but in reality, your subconscious is still working and you're draining yourself a little more. But you know what? Whatever you got to do to pass the time so that you can go back to slaving because it's the only thing you are allowed to do freely. Okay, go after work to a sightseeing stop and smoke a ciggy while the sun sets. Extra points if it's a clean 2-door convertible. You live at work, at least have nice things. Okay, this one kind of makes me especially mad because he's implying that your hobby could be looking at sunsets. Do you think if you lived naturally, you wouldn't be able to see every sunset possible? Like, bro, for your free time, instead of slaving, bro, you should go use that time to look at sunsets. Like, that is the natural thing that you should be doing almost every day if you really lived in a natural environment, would be to look at sunsets. Now, sightseeing, that's kind of cool. 2-door to convertible, okay, cool. Smoking a ciggy, in most people's cases, it's literally a cope because they can't, need something else to take off the stress and pain of whatever they're living like. You live at work, at least have nice things. This is like a cope, like, please let me, to me it just screams, please let me have something, please let me just have one nice thing. That's what it screams to me. Existential dread. All right, this guy's just straight up saying it, like, anytime he's not working, he's having existential dread because he has cognitive dissonance about what his life purpose is. That's honestly, this is getting kind of sad. Honestly, the first time around it was funny. The second time that I'm doing this, it's kind of sad. But hiding vodka bottles in file cabinets. Okay. More coping for not wanting to be conscious. That's all that tells me. Now, this one I liked because this one was the first good one that I saw. Children eating new foods, buying precious metals, saving money. And the one thing I will disagree with is saving money, because for a lot of people, it can become a stress habit where they don't really understand why they're getting emotional about saving money. Some people become so frugal that they start resource guarding. And if you've ever like seen a dog when they have resource guarding, it's really bad to the humans that own it, because the dog becomes snappy and tries to protect this thing that doesn't really need to be protected in an unhealthy way. And this happens with humans with money. They become so stressed out about what they barely do have that they don't actually get to own anything else because they're so worried about saving the money. Then they work their whole life without having spent anything, and then they usually they get sick and don't really make it that far. But it can happen in an unhealthy way. Grind League of Legends. So when I see League of Legends, I kind of automatically know that the person's addicted to it, and especially since they're grinding it, and that's just insane cope because you're living in a fantasy land 24/7 anytime during your free time, and I already know you're getting completely stressed out playing the game. Anyone who's playing League of Legends like that, I know you're not having that much fun. You're actually kind of addicted to the slavery of it. Chain smoking weed, insane cope. Self medicate with uncomfortable amounts of alcohol. Insane cope. I don't even know which one's worse. Chain smoking weed or uncomfortable amounts of alcohol. At a certain point, I'm gonna say the weed's worse because you're coping with the fact that you think it's good for you when you know it's not. Like, I don't know. It's just funny to me because people who chain smoke weed do it at any time of the day, and they try to start doing it during work. At least people who are trying to do that with alcohol start realizing that they're an alcoholic pretty fast, and then they come to terms with it, and then they continue to do it anyways. Start learning a new language so you can quit your job and style internationally. You know what? That's fine in my opinion. Sometimes traveling can teach you that it's not just the US that has like this work culture, and then you can kind of see a general problem around the whole world. Now this one is just complete truth as a joke, I guess. Pacing with your fist clenched around the island in your kitchen, muttering expletives to yourself is one of my favorite. Does that sound healthy to you? I think you know the answer to that. But I have friends that play golf, tennis, or go hiking, and they seem to enjoy those. Haha, see, that's not me, guys. All right, bro, you're funny, man. You're doing worse off for yourself. Okay, really, whatever floats your boat. Oh, thank you for the permission to do whatever floats my boat. Thank you. The disgruntled patriot. Yeah, thank you for the permission, man. I really needed to be able to do whatever floats my boat here. Drinking alone. That's so fun. Staring at your wall in silence after work, then staring at your phone instead. The illusion of choice. Being able to do whichever one of those because you have no idea what else to do with the rest of your freedom. That's amazing, man. That's good. 673 likes. That's great, man. I'm glad people agree with that. Okay, making lists of hobbies and doing none of them because you're tired from being employed. You're so tired from slavery that you aren't even able to do anything that you want to do. And you're going to live your whole life like this if you let it. Turning hobbies into side hustles because life is expensive. You know what? This is probably the healthiest cope possible. This is kind of like what people would do naturally anyways, because we do need some sort of work. But, you know, turning something you enjoy, like as a passion or a hobby, into something that you can make money from is great. Now, it should be your main hustle, not a side hustle. And it shouldn't cause as much stress and anxiety as it does for most people today. But you know what? That's okay. Alcoholism, great. This one's probably the best one yet. 2.6k likes. That's good to see. Cooking, baking, reading, fitness, creative writing, gardening, photography, coding, language learning, DIY crafting, volunteering. Now, for some of these can be cope. Reading, if you're reading if you're a part of book talk or something and that's all you're reading, problem. Fitness, you need to ask yourself, would I still work out if I was the only person on earth? If the answer is yes, then go ahead and work out. But if it's no, then you're working out too much, or you're working out for the wrong reasons. So you need to go ahead and stop, honestly. Continue to work after your shift has technically ended. Self feet pics. Whoa, that's amazing, bro. You're contributing to society. How many hobbies have you actually stuck with longer than 2 months? Most people waste money on gear and then quit. You know, this is actually an okay thing. It's okay to try things, fail, and then like waste money on it because you still had the experience, and that's what really matters when it comes to this stuff. So that guy, DRM, working 24/7. I'm working 24/7. Hey, Let me tell you something about me. I'm working 24/7. Do you like me more now? Does that give you enough information about me for you to not selling an info product at the moment? Join the free Telegram. Yeah, you want to hear information about me. My 7 followers that are totally not bots want to know about the guy working 24/7. So maybe you can be like me, working 24/7. Awesome. Okay. Complaining about taxes, complaining about immigrants, complaining about our destroyed economy. This is their favorite. Most of the employed friends I have, these are their favorite pastimes. Now they seem more angry about the person complaining. But I will say this, it is true. You shouldn't be constantly complaining without some sort of positive outlook on it or positive push outward, right? Because if all you're doing is complaining, you're not even at the coping stage. You're kind of hurting yourself even more in that scenario because you aren't coming back from the pain you're witnessing and experiencing. Gym, vlogging, archery, spin class, pottery, learning how to craft obscure items like swords, axe throwing, finding tea recipes online. Oh, and right, whitewater rafting. That's a good one. Okay, this is probably the best one. Best one yet. Those all seem like fun, cool things to do. Cool little hobbies to do outside of what should be your main hobby. But you know what? For what we live in today, that's okay. Trying to make yourself redundant. Okay. Resting is a big one. See, all of these, and this has 117 likes. Resting and stuff like that. Okay, yes, sleeping does feel good. Resting does feel good, but it's not a healthy sign when all you're doing is slaving, resting, slaving, resting. Like, come on, that is not a hobby. Let's be serious, guys. Like, not okay. All right, let's see if there's one more funny one. Fixing your resume and looking for jobs. Yeah, that's what people are having to do now. Like all the time, all your free time is just working on how to improve your slavery. Not okay. Maxing out your 401k. Okay, we're gonna end it with this one because yeah, all the rest are below 100 likes. Nothing too viral down here, but maxing out your 401k. This is just insanely funny. Jimmy runs money, bro. Full cycle investing, memes here, shit posting. Forbes 1B under 40. Okay, maybe he's rich or something, but maxing out your 401k. Bro, what you need to be doing is maxing out your 401k. That means spending all your time working so that when you're 65, that's when you get to live, bro. That's when life truly starts. 65. Yeah, totally not when your prime starts or when you're the healthiest you've ever been. When you're 65, bro, that's when life truly begins. And that's when you get to actually use your money. So that's why you need to max out your 401k. All right, bro. Low maintenance plants. This is like cope gardening because you should be gardening, but people aren't allowed to do that in the slave world. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Just wanted to show this off because I saw it and I genuinely was expecting some sort of good hobby. Employed person hobbies. Like, there's definitely some. Let me know if you have any. But this was just so dumb. It's funny. Like, people are genuinely agreeing with this. Crazy. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace, guys.